What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DtLF back with another post-game recap. As the Lakers fall to the Warriors, a lot to a but it was competitive for the most part. I mean, for 2.5 quarters, 128 to 112. Uh, what I tell you guys, I told you, don't be shocked if THT has a big night. This was his first opportunity to showcase his talents at the point guard, which I actually like him there. Um, and I've been saying he has a lot of talent, but people discard him and want to get rid of him because the coach hasn't been able to use him properly, and he's kind of had an off year due to the poor fit. However, this is why we can't have nice things, Laker Nation. I see THC have a career high, and instead of Laker fans congratulating, I see a bunch of people in the chat talking about congratulations, THC, you just got your trade value up. But the sad part is when we actually do trade these young players, what happens? Right? Then the fans end up crying about we don't have any young talent and we should have kept said player and said player and said player. This fan base needs to develop a lot of patience for young talent. If not, it won't be able to develop properly. And THT is still a far way away, but he shows glimpses of star quality that if he can put that jump shot together, if he could tighten up his handles and decision making, he could be really, really good. He's still really young. What is he, 22, 23? Still extremely young. And like I said, the young man can score in buckets. Big fan of his. And I'm glad he was able to showcase it. 40 points tonight. He did that. I mean, Malik Monk is another one, man. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Absolutely killed it. Dwight Howard was a beast, 16 and 12. Again, 43 and 3 for THT, 12, 3 and 1 for Austin Reeves. I like our lineups. I really do. I like the young squad running out there. We're able to hang with them for about 2.5 quarters, even though we were extremely depleted. So they made me proud for that time. But I mean, I really don't have no expectations, and I do like the fact that we're letting these young guns run and show what they could do if this was a team that was focused on building through the youth, right? But yeah, again, go back and watch my pregame. I told you guys, I know this game THT. I know this kid THT's game, man. I know this is his type of game, fast-paced, his ball in his hands. He can't really do that when Russ is out there or LeBron is out there because they need the ball in their hands, and it takes away from him. He's going to have to learn how to play off ball if he wants to be effective with them, or he's going to have to get a green light off the bench to be a primary if we want to see this version of THT. But extremely young, talented player, and it's sad to see some of our very faithful Laker fans give up on young talent so early in his career. I mean, can you imagine if when Kobe was raw, if we had Twitter and Laker fans would have said, "Oh, get rid of him. He's garbage," and I don't think anybody garbage can score 40 points, especially in a high-level basketball game. You have to remember, the Warriors were trying to win this game. They're not tanking, right? So that shows you why I have faith in THT and why I called him having a big game during pregame. This is his type of game. Coach hasn't been able to really play enough youth consistently. And when we struggled tonight was when we went to the small ball again with only Wenyan at the 5. That's when they start taking off on us. When we go big, we actually do pretty solid. Is he still 21? I don't know. It feels like he's been 21 forever, but the kid is really, really freaking good. He said, Dan, I just realized something. TC, a volume scorer. He needs a lot of touches, something he can't get on this team. I've been saying that for the longest. I told you guys, when we do trade him, if we do, he's going to do extremely good on another team. It's just this hasn't been a good fit for him. And I think Russell Westbrook here, another ball handler, was actually part of the reason why he had a setback this season. But I haven't given up on the kid. I've always seen potential in these kids, and I'm very patient with them. A lot of people are saying trade Brandon Ingram after his rookie season. They called him, they said he was too skinny. I saw the star quality in him. A lot of people said trade D'Angelo Russell. They used to call him Bustle. And I saw the potential in him. Julius Randle saying we went through this before. This is nothing new. So when I hear THC's getting this trade value up, it's just we're not a patient fan base. And this is why we can't keep young talent very long. They end up getting traded. I just don't want to hear people crying about it later when they're flourishing elsewhere and we're struggling because we need more young talent. That's all I got to say about that. Where was this THT? I mean, this is the first official game without Russell Westbrook in there, and I got to say the ball movement was a lot better. And to me, they've been playing THT out of position. They want him to be an off-ball small forward. He's really a point guard. He showed that last season when he got his opportunity to shine at the point guard position. Whenever Dennis Schroeder was out, THT really shined. This is why we were extremely high on him. He said, "Hey Dan, how are you, bro? I haven't watched the pregame, but have you discussed about the rumors about the Hornets and might be interested with Russ? Yes, we did. We discussed it during pregame. It'll be interesting, but I'm sure a lot more rumors are going to pop up with other teams. Maybe the Knicks will be interested. Maybe I have the Thunder under my watch list. I mean, there's a couple of teams, so we'll see. Can't dissect that rumor too much because it's too early. We're not even in the offseason yet. But once that offseason hits and everybody starts making trades and stuff, that's when it's going to get really interesting, brother. No THT slander today. Surprisingly, there was a lot of THT slander on Twitter. I was like, wow, like, bro had a 40-point game and they're still trying to trade him. Wow. But hey, it is what it is, man. We are Laker Nation. I guess we expect results now. And that's fair because we've always been like that. But that's the problem with trying to develop young talent is that they don't have the time and room to grow and make mistakes and get better. That's the sad part because I love young talent. I wish we would have kept a lot of youngsters and we can compete hopefully with LeBron and AD, but that seems like a pipe dream at this point. If THT can't learn to play off the ball, he'll probably get dealt. And it's going to be sad to see him go because he's somebody I've personally invested into. I set my heart into hopefully he's one of the ones that can help compete for a title on this team because I like his competitive nature. This kid is not afraid. He continues to attack the rim. Sure, he makes boneheaded plays from time to time, but they have to learn through those mistakes. The greatest ones do. He said the THT 40 points unreal. Actually, I was shocked that was his career high. I thought he might have hit a 30-piece before, but I guess that was preseason. Remember, people forget again, when LeBron James wasn't available for the first 3 games of the season, THT was averaging 23 points per game, shooting over 50% from the field. People quickly forgot about that because he has struggled. I mean, he has struggled, but again, this is the type of potential he has. Whether he develops that potential here or elsewhere, most likely elsewhere, it's going to hurt Laker fans later on. They're going to say the same things they say about Brandon and Kuz and all the young core. I already know it. I've seen this story before. He said, John Calipari or Jay Wright as the next head coach? I like both of them. You can't go wrong either way. Either way. He said, Dan, our team is too big to wait on young talent. Kobe showed up since the beginning. I mean, Kobe had that dog in him, but his jumper wasn't consistently there in the beginning. People forget he was airballing shots in the playoffs, and he played through it. There was no social media or nothing back then. So, I mean, that's a positive. We don't have to hear a bunch of airhead takes about young talent trying to get better. But I do think, Kobe just had a killer mentality. He was just different. He was not going to be deterred no matter, even though the first coach didn't really play him. Think about it. He ruined his rookie season by not playing him. And again, to me, coaching matters. If for some reason THT stays here and we get an actual coach who believes in him, gives him the green light, but then reins him in when he makes mistakes, I think he would start reaching his potential. But he still has a long way to go. He's still raw. Still 21. Still very young. Personally, I don't think it's a good omen to give up on young talent like 21 years old. Especially, come on, he just dropped his 40-piece during a high competition level game. And it's not like the Warriors are garbage, right? They're competing for they're in the playoffs. So, and he had 4 steals too. The one he had on Jordan Poole at the half court was sick, man. He does that sometimes. He has good defensive instincts. We're yet to see that consistently from him, but the defensive instincts are there. What do you think of THT's 40-point game? I'm not shocked. I called it pregame. I told you guys, don't be shocked if he has a big game. This is a perfect game on the platter for him. Green light, major minutes, and ball handling duties. This is exactly how THT likes to play, and fast pace. Did you notice we were doing extremely good, even had the lead for the first half of the game when we were pushing the pace and we had youth out there? This is why I said we need to continue to get younger in the offseason and have a coach that's going to embrace that fast pace. Because I'm telling you, man, when we put Austin Reeves was phenomenal too. Malik Monk did their thing, man. The play making by Malik, even blocked the shot. I mean, I love the backcourt lineup. I mean, I wish that was our future lineup. But again, somebody mentioned it. As long as LeBron and AD are on the timeline, those guys will probably get dealt or moved. Well, not Malik Monk because he can play off the ball. But guys like THT probably don't fit this team for that reason because he needs the ball in his hands. I think this game should tell you everything you need to know. He is not trash because trash players can't get 40 in any NBA game. All right. It's not a fluke. You can't just sneeze out a 40-point game. It doesn't work like that. This is his potential, believe it or not. He can be a high-level, scorer. Now, if he added that consistent 3-point shot, he would be even so much better. He probably could have got 50 tonight had he hit some of those threes. Think about that. So He's still got a lot of room for improvement, but I haven't given up on him. I know he's going to be talented for years to come. And it's weird that front offices weren't interested in him when a year ago they were salivating over him. It's just that nobody wanted to help us out. That's the truth. Should have been doing this all year? How? You got Russell Westbrook out here, turnover machine, ball handler. By the way, we look way better first game without him tonight. Even though we lost, we look better, especially in the first half. You have LeBron James who needs the ball in his hand and Anthony Davis who needs the ball in the post to go to work. So it's really hard for him to get too many. It's hard for him to get rhythm because he's an on-ball player rather than an off-ball player. However, I do agree that he needs to work on that if he wants to stick around contending teams, because as long as you don't have those star credentials, you don't have the green light, and you're going to have to learn how to be effective without the basketball in your hands at all times. So I do agree with that. However, I still like the kid. He's not trash. Casuals will tell you he's garbage. I'm telling you right now, they'll tell you he's garbage because he's inconsistent. But every young player has a different timeline. All right. Some flourish quicker than others. I would not like to write him off just yet. He's only 21. He said, trade Russ to the Hornets and start THT at the point guard. That's not going to happen, man, because to be honest with you, LeBron James is our point guard. And we're so much better with LeBron as our point guard. But I would like to see Russ get traded, and maybe THT will flourish off the bench. Who knows, as a primary. But again, we need a coach that's going to know how to use him properly, put him in pick and rolls, get him attacking the rim, going downhill. And hopefully, again, my number one thing for him this offseason, last offseason, was to work on a jumper. Early in the year, it looked good, but eventually he kind of, he hit a wall. He started looking like Ben Simmons from beyond the arc. So hopefully he works on that this year, because he's still got time, man. He's still got time. Maybe he can rework those shot mechanics. If he can hit that three consistently, he's a different player. All of a sudden, teams can't sag off of him, and now he can beat you with that first step, so that makes him a 3-level scorer. It will make him completely different. Trust me, he'll get a lot more space to operate in the paint. And with that elite package he has of layups and spin moves, and he can finish with either hand. He's ambidextrous. He can go under the rim, reverse, everything. He could be really dangerous. He said he's not trash, but he's horrible sometimes. Well, he's young. He's young, man. Not everybody's on our timeline how we want him to be. Yeah, it would have been nice had we got a consistent THT this year. Of course, I wanted that. But again, he's young. He said, bring JaVale back for cheap. I mean, whatever coaching staff we get, they need to learn how to use whatever players we have. If that's JaVale, Dwight. I mean, Dwight clearly showed he should have been starting all year long. And it's ridiculous how up until lately he's been starting. Think about it. He's been killing it. I mean, tonight again, he had 12 rebounds, 16 points. I mean, he was doing work on these little Warriors. And every time he was on the court, we were up. Every time he got off the court, we went down, which tells us another thing. We need more size this offseason. I've been saying it all year. Size has been killing us since we got rid of JaVale McGee. Dan, which players do you want to see come back next season? I kind of gave the quick rundown. Obviously, AD, LeBron, Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, THT, Wenyen Gabriel, Stanley Johnson, Dwight, Melo. All of those will be great. Now, if I had to cut down to like 6 of those, then it would be LeBron, AD, Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, Wenyen Gabriel, because we need size and versatility, and he plays hard. Who would be my 6th? If I had to cut down, like trim down, because we need a new, like a facelift, I don't know who my 6 would be. I really don't. Like, is he between Stanley Johnson and Melo? I don't know, because we need a bucket off the bench too. So I don't know. Probably Melo, just for the bucket purposes, but I would like to bring back Stanley as well. He said, hey, Dan, you hear about the Hornets wanting Russ for Rozier and Hayward plus Oubre? What do you think? I mean, that would be an upgrade for us because it would give us more depth. Listen, Kelly Oubre is a bucket. Hayward, when healthy, he's really good two-way player. And Teddy Rozier is a playmaker who can slash. I mean, kind of similar to THT, but more on the control. So, you know. He said, no excuses for THT. He got paid this season. He could have gave us 15 to 20 points off the bench, but he choked. I still hope we keep him because he has a higher ceiling than all of our young players. He didn't choke. He just had an off season. Choke would be if he was a star player like Russell Westbrook getting paid $40 million plus, and then he didn't. But let's be honest. This coach hasn't been able to use a lot of players properly, a lot, including Dwight and some of the veterans. Hey, my homegirl Tara says, I was wrong about THT. I guess him being on the floor with Russ Yeah, that's a bad combination for sure. You weren't wrong about him. I mean, he's still raw. He didn't have a good season. You were right about that. But she said him being on the floor with Russ wasn't a good look for him. That's a fact. Russ is not a real point guard. I think Russ also impacted the way AD played this season because his numbers fell off a little bit too. You know? He said prank Vogel. He said no one has ever been an all-star as a rookie. He's not a rookie. I know he's very young, but he's not a rookie. He's been with us for 3 years now. But I do see growth. I really do. I see growth. However, not enough, obviously, to get starter minutes. I see enough growth for him to be heavy off the bench, but he does need to take care of the basketball. That's my only thing about THT is that sometimes he gets out of control. A lot of talented players, when they were young, got out of control. It's normal. I've seen the best of the best get out of control. But there is definitely potential there, and anybody that can't see it is blind. If you don't see THT's potential, then either you're hating, you're blind, or you just want to trade everybody to help your favorite player, aka player stand. Bottom line is this: whether we trade THT or not, and he could very well get traded. I'm not sitting here saying that maybe this is not a good fit for him, so he very well could get traded. But the way they try to make it like he was trash, and Twitter try to say like he's super garbage and he has no potential, and the Lakers wasted their money and blah, 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 blah. That's not true. But it is about patience. And Laker fans, we don't have that. So that's the problem with that. He said, why a lot of y'all being down on THT tonight when they all know Russ and Braun always have the ball in their hands? That's his game too. Let him be. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Randolph. Hey, bro, I've been saying this all year long, bro. Even when he's had bad games, people try to just say he's garbage. But I'm like, no, I've seen him be really good for 2 seasons. This is his first bad year. And even though it was a bad year, he still showed glimpses. Again, I always point back to the first 3 games when LeBron James was hurt to start the season. People forget. First 3 games, he came out looking like an all-star. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, he's about to have a breakout year. But then LeBron came back, and he was never able to adjust to an off-the-bench role or even a starting role. He said, Dan, talk about your friend who called LeBron a scam. That's his opinion, bro. I mean, what else can I say? All I can say is LeBron still has time to prove him right if he plays the last 2 games, but not as far as the scam goes, but the fact that he cared about the scoring title. That was his point. But I do think LeBron still has a chance to come back and play these last 2 games. I wouldn't be shocked if he does, because I think it means something to him. And again, I'm not going to be mad because this season the rest of this year doesn't mean anything. I mean, my anger already left once we got eliminated from the playoffs. That's his decision if he decides to do that. I'd have to be a real hater to be mad at LeBron for coming back and wanting the scoring title. At the same time, I'm not happy we missed the playoffs. And I do think that all of the criticism is warranted by ESPN and all these people criticizing him. I mean, that's what happens when you come to LA and you don't live up to expectations for everybody who's under a Laker uniform. They deserve to get criticized. And I like that because they're going to get, they're going to get better from that. It's all good. With failure brings, you got to get better. You got to learn from the failure. What happened? Remember, when LeBron James first got here, we missed the playoffs. Next year, what happens? We trade for AD. We win the championship. Last year, we made the playoffs, but we blamed on the injuries. This year, no excuses. We didn't even make the playoffs. So guess what? Something has to happen to get our roster better, and hopefully we come back better than ever. He said THT value went up by this game. Who knows? You'd be shocked. The league might still be like, oh, this game meant nothing, blah, blah, blah. And they might still want to offer, a box of cookies for THT because that's the way the league operates. They don't really want to help the Lakers out. I'd honestly rather hold on to him than to take some garbage role player like a Trevor Ariza type that might not even be able to contribute. But it is what it is, man. He said, why was Malika hating on the GOAT? Screw her. Listen, I was disappointed by her take because I thought she was pretty knowledgeable. I don't really watch ESPN like that. But when I first saw that she came on and replaced Rachel Nichols, I was like, okay, we got some fresh blood. And, she seems pretty intelligent about her stuff. But then when I seen this take today, somebody sent it to me and I seen it. I was like, oh, my goodness, like this is, there is no context to this. Like, first of all, Kobe Bryant willed that team to the playoffs. He literally sacrificed the rest of his career because let's be real. Mike D'Antoni's the reason Kobe tore his Achilles. He pushed him to the limit. All right. And knowing Kobe wasn't going to back down from anything. So, Kobe needed a rest like LeBron has this season in order not to injure something. And instead of Mike D'Antoni resting him, he would just give him the green light. And Kobe's not going to take any off days for himself, you know? So that was just off basis completely, acting like she literally acted like we wouldn't have got any wins versus San Antonio. Kobe was arguably having one of his best years of his career. And if he was healthy, I have no doubt we would have made a deep run in the playoffs. You know, so that's really what it bothers me when you try to like. I get it. Your favorite player is LeBron. Respect. You know, I have no problem with that. However, when you try to like diminish another player's accomplishments to elevate your favorite players, all of a sudden your opinion just doesn't matter to me. But that's just me personally. I mean, some of y'all agreed with it, some of y'all disagreed. I mean, that's what basketball is all about. It's all about opinions, really. But yeah, the disrespect, bro, I'm not gonna have that anytime. People really try to compare LeBron's year 19 to Kobe's year 19, like Kobe didn't have serious injuries. Like, bro, chill. If Kobe was healthy, he would have still kept putting up big numbers. You know, so it's not about comparing and all that. Why can't we just appreciate each player for his own greatness? They both played for the Lakers, so they're doing me a service. That's the way I see it, man. He said Kobe would never say, I want to go play with Curry. I mean, but again, you can't hold that against LeBron. LeBron's from a different era. And in LeBron's era, everybody's playing buddy ball. And yes, I'm not a fan of that, but that's his decision, man. I can't be mad at that. Now, Kobe, Allen Iverson, players from that generation were different. They had a lot of pride and they wanted to win where they were at, right? So it's a different story, man. Nowadays, superstars are mercenaries. I wouldn't be shocked if I don't know who came together in the same draft class. They might end up teaming up in the future and playing together. Like, I would not be shocked. He said her favorite player in LeBron. She's a Curry fan. Her team is Golden State. Listen, I don't watch enough of her to like know what it is. I'm just going based off of that take. He said, and I'm a LeBron fan. This ain't the time. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's good. Listen, whether you're a LeBron fan, Kobe fan, Laker fan, overall, like me, whatever. Bottom line is, when you miss the playoffs, there's going to be criticism. And nobody should get offended about that. This was a failure of a season. Matter of fact, we had 6 Hall of Famers and we didn't make it. That's probably one of the biggest failures of the season. Of course, nobody's saying it was all LeBron's fault or all AD's fault or the front office fault or all the coaching staff fault. It's a team effort. So everybody should take a slice of the cake. I've been saying this all year, and I'm beating the dead horse like a mother sucker, man. His ribs are sticking out at this point. The reason for me saying this is because everybody tries to deflect blame so that their favorite player doesn't take any sort of slander or whatever. So what, man? If they get slandered, then so be it. Like, these guys are great. We know that already. It's set in stone. Their track record precedes them. There's nothing a hater can say to take anything away from LeBron's career. There's nothing a hater can say to take anything away from Kobe's career. None a hater can say to take away anything from Jordan's career, Magic's career. These legacies are set in stone. The only difference is that LeBron is still in the NBA and he's still building on that legacy. You know what I mean? So that's the only difference. But yeah. My boy said Kobe Bryant was the greatest basketball player ever. Malika Andrews crossed the line by disrespecting her. Screw her. Well, she's going to lose a lot of fans like that. I'll say that. I mean, I don't hate anybody. That's her opinion. That's how she feels. But I do feel like, I don't know what her age is. I'm not going to sit here and disrespect her age or whatever. But she might be a little too young to remember prime Kobe, because the way she talked about him and said, yelling at players doesn't do nothing. It was more than that. We're talking about Kobe led by example. We're talking about Kobe dislocated his finger and popped that shit right back in by Gary Vitti, and boom, motherfucker was out here shooting threes and everything, shooting with the left hand, adjusting his game. I don't remember when was the last time I seen that kind of tough mentality, aka the Mamba mentality, from any player. So you can't never take, that's his legacy, man. This is why we love him as Laker fans, and this is why some other players get criticized for laughing and joking on the sideline, because Kobe wouldn't take it. So he set a golden standard, and that's what Malika Andrews didn't understand from what Matt Barnes was trying to say. That's the bottom line. So yeah, no Kobe slander will ever be allowed. That's why I had to call her out on it, but I didn't think it was going to take a life of its own like that. We had See, this is where I draw the line. You can't have sexist comments in the comment section talking about get back in the kitchen and shit like that. Because then all of a sudden now I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling like, should I delete this shit? Because that's not what I wanted to do at all. You know? He said, Dan, they all forgot that THT won a championship before Harden and PG-13. That's a fact. That's a fact. A champion's a champion. You can never take that away from him either. He said, stop it. MJ had a losing record against the Pistons. Beat him down 3 times, and he still went out there and recruited Rodman. Y'all need to stop that 90s BS, to be honest. What are you talking about? He's 6-0 in the finals. Just pay, bro. You're not going to beat a Jordan argument. That, like, all right, comparing these players to me, it's like picking between red, blue, and red, white, and blue. Like they're all different colors, and it's all about preference. There's really no better colors. Like whatever your favorite color is, that's the better color for you. That's the bottom line. I'm so sick of these player arguments. And then you have people like this guy come in here and say he recruited Dennis Rodman, so that takes away from his. Listen, he's 6-0 in the finals. You can't argue that. You basically arguing a wall. Jordan was great, man. And this coming from a diehard Kobe, aka Laker fan. This coming from a diehard Lakers / Kobe / LeBron fan. Jordan was great. You don't need to try to diminish his legacy to build your favorite player's legacy career up, bro. It's not. It's all opinion based. They never even really played each other during their primes. If you think about it, that would have been the only way to truly decide who was better, with like all facts. There you go. See, now you got Crystal fired up. Now she's over here saying Bulls won 3 titles before they got Rodman. I'm saying you can't argue greatness. They're all great in their own right. By the way, they're all 3 of them are different players. They have some similarities, but they're different players. They are. He said, let's diminish the Suns and the Clippers. Now that you have a green light, my friend, because those are ringless franchise that love to talk. Now that's a different story. Popped his Achilles tendons and shot free throws. That's what I'm saying. That Mamba mentality is inspirational. That goes even beyond basketball. He'll forever be my GOAT. And disrespect me all you want, but I saw his whole career. You can't argue that. Most of the people arguing against my GOAT probably saw a handful of Kobe games. Most of them are probably too young and too wet between the ears to remember his greatness. So I'm not going to have this conversation with them. Why can't we just enjoy everyone and respect greatness in all aspects? Exactly, Laker girl. You know who we should be mad at? We should be mad at ESPN for trying to elevate Devin Booker and James Harden to Kobe status. That is disrespectful because those guys haven't done shit. Literally. They had, like, one got to the finals barely, and the other one hasn't been to the finals since he left OKC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought this was about winning championships and willing your team to victory. And instead we got one crying about double teams and the other one gaining weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't no Kobe, bro. Like, stop comparing my GOAT to regular ass average all-star players, man. I'm sick of that. Yes, sir, Chris. Shout out to Chris. It's all love, bro. It's all love. He said, how can you be a clown at 4-6 in the finals, clown? What are you talking about, bro? Oh, I'm not even going to have this conversation. I'm not going to have this conversation. I said what I said. All 3 of them are GOATs in their own right. Pick your favorite and go to sleep with that choice. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that, because it's all objective, man. You really can't. There's no solid fact that can just, okay, everybody bow down to this player because he's solidified as the GOAT. I mean, some people even older than us will say Kareem's the GOAT or Magic or Dr. J. Everybody has different selections, bro. You can't, you know, you're not going to come over here and Dr. Phil everybody into buying into your opinion. It's an opinion. Is that when they called Harden and beat the next Kobe and Shaq? That's what I'm saying, Dave. That is what we should be pissed off at. That, bro, stop putting Kobe outside of the top 5, number 1. All right, he shouldn't be on anybody's list outside of top 5. I don't respect your list if you got Kobe outside of top 5. Sports fans are toxic. Can't stop comparing. Absolutely, Crystal. Absolutely. Thank you. Why can't we just appreciate? Listen, y'all know who my GOAT is, but that doesn't mean I'm going to push his agenda on y'all. If you got to saw him, you were blessed enough to see him and you see my point of view, then God bless you and you were blessed. But if you didn't and you have a different point of view, then who am I to judge you and your point of view? This is your point of view. He said, when can teams start making trades? I think that is a good question. I think as soon as the season's over, realistically. I mean, but more of I know the majority of the trades happen after the actual playoffs conclude. Even though I think once your season ends, you can officially start making moves like firing the coach and stuff like that. Yeah, that I'll never understand. Larry Bird over Kobe is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Even though Larry Bird was great, there's this apples and oranges, man. There's levels to this. But hey, again, that's their opinion. Then I'm not trying to diminish MJ's achievements, but the narrative that he never recruited anyone from averse teams is pure BS. He said, anyways, we still rooting for the purple and gold. Salute from Inglewood. Yes, sir. Now that I understand. I mean, listen, what is so wrong about having the ability to recruit? You know, now I get all this the buddy ball crap I don't like, because I feel like the front office should take care of the teams. Now, if you have a suggestion and the front office thinks it's a good fit, then that's great. But overall, like, I ain't mad at it, man. If LeBron was a great recruiter, he recruited a lot of great role players over the past that helped him to those championships. Nothing wrong with that. Because I agree, Dan. I wonder if we can get Scary Terry and Gordon Hayward. I just hope they both can stay healthy. You know what, man? Let's not settle on that first rumor, because usually rumors this early don't come to fruition. Wait till we get a little closer to the offseason. Like, as soon as the offseason hits, whatever rumors you start hearing then probably have the most validity. Although I'm not saying that this one doesn't, because it was, by a credible source. However, I'm not gonna just sit here and just take that as a report. That's just the rumor for now. So I do think there'll be other suitors, believe it or not. Contract. Now, by the way, I do want to talk about this. What's up with corny ass caramel cat storytelling ass Reggie Miller, bro? I'm so sick of him. Did y'all hear the blasphemies that came out of his mouth? First of all, he got the championships wrong. He said the Celtics and Lakers have 18 championships. It's 17, bro. You're a professional analyst, ex-NBA player. You should know this. All right. Because we busted your ass in one of the finals. All right. So my thing is, when this clown came out here and he said, are the Lakers becoming the next New York Knicks in free agency recruiting? Bro, are you stupid? We just recruited the biggest free agent the last time we had all this cap space in LeBron James. And then on top of that, we recruited AD, even though he wasn't a free agent. He wanted to come here. So hypothetically, he chose this spot. Same thing with Russ. All right. Those are all big names. When was the last time the New York Knicks got a big name? Kemba Walker? When was the last time? So please, and the Knicks are my second favorite team. I'm not trying to diss them or nothing, but I'm saying, bro, don't, please. We just won a championship in 2020. When was the last time the Knicks won a championship? And when was the last time they recruited a big-time marquee name free agent? That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, Reggie Miller's takes are just hot garbage. I don't even know how ESPN still leaves him on there, but hey, I guess being an ex-player / commentator has its perks, don't it? This Reggie Miller garbage, bro. I'm sick of it. And I know a lot of Laker fans be muting their TV. That's how bad it's gotten, man. My boy said James Harden being the Kobe is funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. No, that's not going to happen. Like, that's a horrible comparison. He said Kobe, Bryant, and MJ are all greats. I appreciate them all. Me too, man. Me too. And I had my reserves about LeBron James, but he won me over when he got here. He really did. Once he won that championship, that solidified it for me. I'm always going to respect him. It's that simple, man. When you put in work for real diehard Laker fans, they'll appreciate it. And he's done that. So if he wants to come out there, listen, regardless of whatever my friend said about him or whatever, that doesn't change my opinion. I have a very strong mentality. Even my friends can't change my opinions, but I do, I take them in stride and I listen because I'm a good listener and I respect their basketball knowledge. However, opinions are just opinions. If LeBron wants to come out here and get the scoring title, hey, so be it. I'm not going to be mad at it. It is what it is. I mean, his theory will be right about him caring about that, but other than that, it doesn't bother me. Do whatever you want. I mean, the season's over. Because I enjoy watching Kobe. I hate watching Harden. That's the difference. I mean, Harden is a foul baiter, flopping, super skilled, talented player. That's the way I describe him. He's a super skilled, talented player, but the foul baiting and the flopping takes a lot away from it. It diminishes it from his legacy. On top of that, he's mentally weak, and he's not a leader. Kobe was a leader. And he's not a killer. Kobe was a killer. I mean, there's a lot of differences there. It's not even close. Devin Booker, like I said, um, Kobe, Booker's not even in the picture. My hand's down here. He's not even in the picture. You gotta be able to. I mean, there's levels to this, man. Booker has 0 championships, 0 Finals MVPs, 0 regular season MVPs. Even though for some reason they want to give it to him this year, not putting up that type like record wise. I don't think we should give MVPs based off a record. We should give MVPs based off of who was the biggest killer and who helped position their team the best. Whether that's first seed or 8th seed, it doesn't matter. If somebody struggled through injuries and you elevated your team to the playoffs, that's the MVP. Kobe got robbed a couple of times, matter of fact. But look, Devin Booker to me is a lot closer to Ray Allen when he was in Seattle. When he was he was athletic too. He could get to the basket. He had decent footwork as well. He could shoot the 3. I mean, that's why I compare him to more than Kobe. He definitely ain't no killer because he hates double teams. That's facts. He said when James Harden doesn't get calls, he literally at 13 to 18 points per game. Facts. I mean, let's be real. He had his coach out here crying for calls this season. That doesn't expose him. I don't know what does. Do you think this season was Vogel's fault or LeBron's fault for the construction of this trash squad? I think it was everybody from the front office to Vogel to LeBron to AD to Russ. They all took a chunk. There's no way you can have such a horrible season. If it was just one issue, it would have been fixed. All right, but it was probably the worst season based off of expectations in Laker history. I really thought they could put it together and win a championship. I really did. I'll be the first one to tell you I was wrong because they did not. They didn't put the egos to the side. The coaching was atrocious, and the rotations, still they haven't figured them out. Gio said, Dan, true question. Be honest. If D-Book was a Laker, I think your opinion might be different about him. No disrespect. That's cap. I still think he's talented. I mean, clearly I would root for him if he was a Laker. I root for everybody who's a Laker. That's what being a diehard Laker fan is. You put your pride to the side, and if Dwight Howard comes after Laker fans hated him and he puts in work, you love him. But I still think Devin Booker is more closer to Ray Allen than Kobe. I mean, come on, bro. We got to see Kobe's career. I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the man just because ESPN wants to diminish it. I mean, did you see that they put Kobe Burley at top 10? If that ain't disrespectful, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. He said exactly one double team on him and he falls apart. Pressure. Who is Devin Booker? Listen, I'm not even trying to hate on him. He's extremely talented. He's just don't compare him to one of the GOATs. Just don't do that. He hasn't even accomplished a single championship. Let him get about 3 or 4 before we start making those comparisons. Let him get close at least. You know what I mean? That's all. Yes, Crystal, absolutely. Love the positivity. We'll be back, Laker fan for life. That's all I saw. That's music to my ears, man. We're one family. We hold each other up through the tough times. And I'm glad you guys are still here on the channel. That just proves to me y'all the best, coldest fan base out there, man. Out of all 30 teams, Laker fans are number 1. Even though we're the most hated, they call us delusional, they call us spoiled, they call us all of this and that, but we the flyest fans in the world. And we pack out every single stadium and arena. That's why they hate us. He said Devin Booker scared of the Raptors mascot. Was that a joke, by the way? Somebody answer me this. Why did Devin Booker kick out a mascot? I mean, if that doesn't spell fragile, mentally fragile, I don't know what does. Exactly. That perfect. Sal nailed it. Sal, yo, shout out to Sal. Listen, he said it's like comparing Ben Simmons to LeBron James. Exactly. Apples to oranges, bro. And by the way, they did that. ESPN did that. They said, remember when Stephen A said that crazy take when he was like, Ben Simmons is one jump shot away from being the next LeBron James? Like, bro, LeBron James type players don't grow on trees. He's not a jump shot away. Stop it. He's not. My boy, I forgot to read your looked like an interesting comment. Let me go up right quick. My boy Jarhead, how you doing, bro? He said, we should just appreciate greatness. Kobe is my GOAT. LeBron is the GOAT. We Laker fans are blessed. Look at the greatness we have that have played for us, from Kareem to Kobe to LeBron to Magic. I'll keep that list going, bro. Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's a W take. That's all I'm always preaching. That is all I am always preaching, man. Nothing else to say. I mean, I could drop the mic. Perfect take. Lakers girl said, that's why I love AI. He always said, must have forgot about the Mamba when they disrespect him. Yes, AI is a real one. He's also one of my favorite non-Laker players of all time. I agree. Oh, I absolutely agree. Dan, sorry for asking this because I love your channel. And as a person, I respect everybody here. You have all the way, Dan, but I wanted to add you on Twitter, but for some odd reason, it doesn't let me. No clue, brother, but keep trying, man. Twitter be acting up sometimes. You know what's crazy? People sometimes send me comments and, like, for example, today, like, I tweeted that out about Malika Andrews and it blew up. So I will miss a lot of people's comments. And then tomorrow when I'm going over it, I'll see some people's comments that I didn't see. So I don't know. Sometimes Twitter be like that, bro. He's like, hey, Dan, who's the better player in your opinion? Prime LeBron or Prime Kobe? It depends what you like, Bob. If you like a stone cold killer that never turns down shots, it's Prime Kobe for you all day. That's my type of player. But if you like a playmaker who's super athletic, jumps out the building, a crazy basketball IQ, and just a well-rounded player, LeBron James. But again, my preference is just a cold-blooded killer that's not going to pass up the final shot and is going to put the team on his shoulders every single night when the clock is winding down. That's just my favorite. That's my preference. You know, LeBron James is very selfless, sometimes to a fault, right? Sometimes he'll pass up a game-winning layup and kick it out to the corner and live with the results. And I respect it. I mean, he's just a different player to me. Same thing with Magic. He reminds me a lot more of Magic Johnson than he does of Michael Jordan for those reasons. You know, but again, LeBron is spectacular. I'm not taking nothing away from it. And I'm not saying he's not a killer, because when he wants and he puts his head down, ain't nobody stopping that freight train. Nobody. He's too skilled too. I've seen him do several takeovers at his age at 37. It's different, man. Very different. So I respect them both. But my preference, I like a stone cold killer who's going to live with the results and all the media hatred, whether he makes or misses a shot. Some people even called him a ball hog when he averaged 6 assists for his career. So it just depends what you like, bro. He said, all those talking about THT told you he's 21. We've been telling him, Kevin. We've been telling him for a long time, Kevin. But again, it's really hard. It's really hard for young talent to develop here, because I feel like this fan base needs to develop as well some patience. If y'all want our youngsters to stay longer, or maybe even finish out their careers here, or maybe become something special here, like the way Kobe, Bynum, some of the rare young talent that we've developed, then we got to be more patient. We got to work on that, Laker Nation. I've been preaching this for years. For those of you that have been with me, you know how I've been defending players nonstop. People used to call me names. They used to call me Kuzma Stan because I defended him. They used to call me all kinds of names, man. I've been called everything, but I stick by what I know, and I know young talent when I see it, right? He said Doc Rivers will make the Lakers worse. Agreed. I don't want Doc. No, sir. Is it even possible for the Lakers to get good assets next season? Anything's possible, brother. It's the NBA. In the NBA, anything is possible. Heck, I don't want to say it, but don't be surprised they land another star player, even though that's not what I want. I want role players that fit AD and LeBron's game better. But it's LA, man. It's the city of dreams. Anything's possible. We'll see what happens. People have been, wanting Damian Lillard, but the only way that happens is if he requests a trade specifically here, which I don't see happening. However, I do think there's a potential of upgrading this roster this summer. I don't know how they're going to do it or when they're going to do it, but it's going to happen. I feel it. He said, DtLF, if you watch LeBron in the 2018 playoffs, he was so clutch. He's a clutch player. He's really good, man. He's really good. But again, like I said, if I want a stone cold killer that's never going to turn down shots, that's Kobe Bryant. LeBron has turned down plenty of shots in his career. And that's not a criticism. If anything, it just speaks to his high basketball IQ and how he's a team first guy. That's fine. And not to say Kobe wasn't a team first guy, but he was the guy that wanted all the smoke. He wanted all the smoke. And I've seen every single one of his career shots and highlights. So I'm biased to that. I will say that. But still, man, if you want a stone cold killer, it's Kobe every time. To me, and this is why he's my GOAT, he's the I mean, the amount of crazy shots he's made over double, triple teams, even Lil Wayne made a song about it. That'll let you know. Is just to me, he's the best tough last second shot killer. Like when it comes to tough shots, what you think are impossible, Kobe Bryant's your guy. He said, Dan, I appreciate real ones like you. You're a GOAT. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words, man. It never gets old hearing compliments from my colleagues, man, from my fellow Laker fans. So it means the world, man. He said, DeAndre Jordan was a waste. So was Rondo and Ariza. I wish we had better options on the table. Now, here's the thing. Trevor Ariza came here because Russell Westbrook recruited him, right? And I wouldn't have been opposed to it as long as he would have played a minor role off the bench. But the role that they played him in, I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't get another NBA job. Now, I hope it doesn't happen. I want my boy Trevor forever, aka the Laker champ, to get another job. But yeah, I don't like the way Vogel used a lot of this roster, and even last year the way Vogel used that roster. I'm telling you. He said, me personally, Dan, I love helping people out that are from you in this channel, so that's why I had to let you know. For sure, bro. I'll take a look at it, man. I mean, you can always, if you want to get through like that, just create another account. I don't know why it doesn't let you through, but he said Jordan, then Kobe. I like LeBron, but Kobe is a killer, bro. You saw his whole career. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Dan, we will get younger in the offseason. I think the front office learned their lesson. I hope so. Because not only do we need to get younger, Jarhead, you're right about that, but we need to get more length and more size in the paint. We need more wings, 3-and-D guys, and we need more size in the paint. We need actual bigs who will rim protect. Go give me a Willie Cauley-Stein type player. Go give me somebody like that. Somebody who could protect the rim. Maybe play that JaVale McGee role. Keep Dwight. I like what he brings, whether he's off the bench or starting. Give me some true size, athleticism. We need to get more athletic. You seen tonight, we stayed in this game up until we didn't. When we went small, that's when we got hurt. But if we get the right coach and knows how to play the right combinations at all times and always keeps bigs out on the floor, unless, of course, the other team went small and they're not going to exploit us, then to me, coaching is going to matter a lot. Appreciate you, Max. You the GOAT, bro. Thank you, man. My boy, he said, I cashed big on Monk, 20.5 points. That's what's up, bro. I'm happy for you. Hey, get that paper. We need to get athletic and younger as well. He said, y'all really didn't watch LeBron all the time because LeBron is a cold killer. I mean, hey, that's your opinion, bro. I watched LeBron a lot of his career, and I'm not saying he's not a killer, but Kobe's a different level killer. Like I said, Kobe's not passing up no shots, and that's the biggest difference. Even you who watch LeBron all your life know that LeBron has passed up some big shots, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. But me personally, I prefer Kobe. As far as taking that last shot, I would feel safest, man. I remember down the stretch, we always felt like we could win. I can't say the same for LeBron as in his Laker uniform because a lot of the times he has passed up that shot. And at times, even Malik Monk has been our killer this season, and sometimes AD, and sometimes LeBron. So they kind of alternated. But God knows that if you can rewind the clock and put Kobe back in his prime on this team, there would be no doubt he would still be the alpha and be taking the last shots. That's what I love about him. Same thing with Michael Jordan, but I didn't really see Michael Jordan play his career. I was too young for that. So I can't really speak on that. But the one I did see was my generation's Jordan. 8 or 24, brother. Both, man. They were both special to me. One was more athletic and one was more well-rounded. So it just depends what you prefer. But they both were amazing to me, man. I grew up with 8, and I cried when he retired at 24. So I love both of them. And they were both champs, by the way. I prefer Kobe as well. There you go. Hey, listen, it's all about preference, really. It's all about preference. And you can't really take nobody's preference as an insult or nothing. I mean, that's what his basketball is all about. He said, I love the way Gabriel's playing. Yes, we need to keep him. That kid has a motor. He's he's really talented too. I like that little crossover he had on I forgot who that player from the Warriors was, but he crossed them up, Bielitsa or something like that. and then dunked on him, I was like, oh, Wenyen, keep working on your skills, bro, because he's still 24. He's relatively young for the NBA. So he can still get better. I like him. My favorite thing about him is his motor. He plays extremely hard. He's a keeper for sure. And I'm pretty sure the Lakers will do the right thing and sign him because he has earned that. He's earned it for sure. He said, what is your take on Wenyen Gabriel? Keep him away from him? Just gave it to you, man. I read your comment a little bit late, but there's my take. He said, it's good to pressure Bron so we can know what moves to prepare for. I have no clue what moves the Lakers are about to do. All I know is day one, that breaking news is going to hit so good, man, when Frank Vogel gets fired, and we'll go from there. We need to take it one step at a time. Who do you guys want for the next head coach for the Lakers? I would like to know. Drop your names in the comment section. I'd love to know. Sometimes you guys come with fresh takes. I've heard Robert Horry, even though I don't think he coaches. I've heard a bunch of different names that I didn't expect. So I'm curious who Laker Nation wants. Personally, me, dream scenario, Coach K for me would be dream scenario. Or I would just say, listen, I'm not going to be that strict on who we get as coach, but I don't want Doc Rivers. That's one. I definitely don't want any of the Rambis family, anybody. And I want somebody with good playoff experience that's been there before and can get you over the hump, that knows the X's and O's. Okay, let's start up top. Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is a very good coach. Mike Brown. We already gave him a shot. I'm not sure I want him back. James Worthy. I liked his passion in the All-Star game, but again, not a coach. He's more of an analyst. I think he's comfortable where he's at. Mark Jackson for sure. Now, that would be another interesting scenario. I would love Mark Jackson as well. He said, I'd rather have John Calipari than Doc Rivers. Me too, bro. Trust me. Me too. Not just that, he's a master recruiter as well. Imagine all the connections to the Kentucky players we would have on in free agency. Oh, my goodness. And Kentucky definitely breeds a lot of talent that he's coached in the past. He said Phil Handy. Now there's an interesting one. Phil Handy, to me, is still a player development coach. I'm not sure how he would do with the X's and O's, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I do like the guy, though. He's definitely a good guy. Dan, what do you think about Kenny Atkinson as our new coach? He led the Nets to their first playoffs in years. I mean, he seems like a young players coach, but can he really coach these egotistical superstars? That's the question. Michael Cooper's defense. Michael Cooper, man, I don't know. Someone who said Mike Brown needs to get blocked. I mean, let's be real. People that say Mike Brown are probably ex-Cleveland Cavalier fans, aka LeBron fans, because they had him before and it worked out well for them, right? They went pretty far with Mike Brown. So that's probably why they say it, but I want something that's going to last us even beyond LeBron James. I want somebody who's going to be here for the youth and for the current stars. Is that too much to ask? Maybe it is, but that's what I want. David Visdale, please no. Please no. We got a small little sample size with him, and he was short of putting Isaiah Thomas at the center from me breaking my TV screen. Like, he also plays small ball, and I don't know if this was commands from Frank, but I didn't like what I saw when Fizdale took over when Frank Vogel got out. He was sick. He was out sick with COVID. So yeah, I'm not in it with him. Luke Walton, no. Sal, no. No. I really don't want to see Doc Rivers. I think that would be one of the worst case scenarios for us Laker fans. But you know my rule. Once you become a Laker, I root for you, no matter who it is. But damn, that one would really hurt, man. That one would really hurt. I think I'd rather chew on a spine-filled cactus in a hot summer day. He said, how about Avery Johnson? We need a coach that can not only hold our players accountable, but superstars too. Laker Nation, what y'all think about Avery Johnson? There's a name I had threw in the shuffle a long time ago, like earlier this year, but I'm not even sure if he's still willing to coach. But I like him. He's tough. Do you think Vogel has bad rotations? Tom Thibodeau is 1,000 times worse, in my opinion. Maybe so. I haven't watched enough of the Knicks this season, but they are struggling. If we had to choose for one season, it would be Phil Jackson. That would be dope, Crystal. I would love to see Phil. I just honestly, with his as old as he is and his inability to coach all the games, I don't think it's going to happen. Appreciate you, my boy. Randolph in the house. He said, Adrian Brody, a.k.a. Pat Riley, next head coach. Pat Riley, man. I wish it would be But yeah, nah. I mean, Pat Riley is perfectly fine. Oh, it's Saul. Okay, I got you, bro. He said, my name is inspired by Saul Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican GOAT. I got you, bro. I was butchering your name. My bad. You just never know, man. If it's Spanish or English, it's always different. But I got you, man. Saul in the house. Yes, sir. Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder, I'm on the fence about. What y'all really think about Quinn Snyder? Because look, listen, hear me out. If Quinn Snyder can get his Utah Jazz over the hump and eliminate the Suns, and I might give him a consideration, but he has shown the incapability of making adjustments. He let Rudy Gobert get cooked in that series when they were up 2-1, or was it 3? No, it was 2-1. They were up on, or I think they were up 2-0, and then they lost 4 games in a row, and he allowed the Phoenix Suns to go small and cook Rudy Gobert. He never made adjustments when he had some pretty decent players on the bench. So for those reasons, I'm not sold on Quinn Snyder. I know a lot of people like him, but what are we always hard on Frank Vogel about? Making in-game adjustments. So it would be hypocritical of me to just close my eyes on this next coach and just, get somebody who's not able to make those in-game adjustments. And I want to see what Quinn Snyder does this year for the Jazz. Can they get over the hump? Then maybe he gets higher on my list. But for now, it's not necessarily a priority. If it happens, I won't be mad at it, but I just don't know, man. I do like his toughness and how he gets into the players. Can that translate over here with LeBron and potentially Russell again next year and AD? I don't know. But I do like that aspect of it now. The X's and O's, I'm not sold on him. He said Lakers should have waived Kent Bazemore. They should waive him. Yep. And I think they might to give a couple of G League players looks. Now, remember, as soon as we got eliminated, this is something I mentioned on the channel. We should try to just give the youngsters a go and see who's capable of sticking around. Imagine Shaq as a coach. Nah, he's too goofy, man. People wouldn't take him serious. Yeah, Shaq can't coach. No way. He said Quinn Snyder gift wrapped the Flippers a Western Conference ticket. Exactly. If Snyder beats the Clippers, hire him. I guess that's the bar. Dwayne Casey or Sam Cassell? I'm not sure about Sam, but Dwayne Casey's not bad at all. I liked him since he was in Toronto. But still, I have other coaches on my priority list higher than him. I really want the Lakers to shoot for the stars. I want us to get a big name again. I would have Magic Johnson call Mike Krzyzewski, man. Be like, yo, Jeannie needs your help, Mike. Would you mind, helping her out? Because he would go a long way for us, not just in the coaching department. I mean, think about it. Around the NBA, when you think of future free agents, who would not like playing for Mike Krzyzewski? Think about it. Not to mention, we do have our sights set on one Jason Tatum. I think that would be heavenly for him. Eric Spoelstra, nah, is he still in the contract with the Heat? He's gonna stay there, man. Eric Spoelstra probably has like not a lifetime membership to coach the Heat, but he's gonna be there for a long time. He said, "I want Kevin Ollie before he is still available." Kevin Ollie is a good listen. Kevin Ollie's dope. I would not mind Kevin Ollie, very passionate coach, but I think he specializes more on young talent. Becky Hammond, wow, you're joking about it, but she is definitely a Popovich disciple. So that's definitely a name to watch out for. But I'm not sure if they will give her that consideration. I wouldn't mind, man. That would be different. That would be different for sure. But it would be revolutionary. Imagine the first female owner to win a professional championship with a female head coach at the helm. I think that'd be pretty cool, man. But that's just me. Drinking, watching you. Cheers. Cheers, Crystal. We should try to trade for Mitchell Robinson, a good pick in a role center. Oh, my goodness. Do you guys remember that draft day when I was wearing the Lakers lucky jacket and I wanted Mitchell Robinson really, really bad because I told you guys he would be solid rim protector? We needed a center at the time. And we ended up picking Mo Wagner. And I was disappointed. But I was like, well, Mo was on my list. But he wasn't high on my list compared to Mitchell, who was my number one choice there. I couldn't believe we passed on Mitchell Robinson, man. It still hurts me till this day because even though he's been injured throughout his career early, but he's really showed out when he's had the opportunity. So Dan, isn't this Greg Popovich's last run with the Spurs? Could you imagine if we had a coach like Greg? Greg is a small town guy. I really don't foresee him leaving the Spurs ever. I mean, this is last year with San Antonio. That's it. I think he'll retire and right off into the sunset, man. And I respect his coaching, but I don't like him as a guy because he was crying about the Anthony Davis. He wanted it blocked. Remember that? So even though I wouldn't mind him as a coach, I never forget these things. Just like Doc Rivers. Who's going to forget how he came over here and tried to cover our banners with selfies and shit? Like, nah, get this man out of here. We don't want Doc Rivers. I would be really disappointed if Jeannie Buss hires Doc Rivers. But is it an upgrade to Frank Vogel? I'm really not sure. Because Doc Rivers has really given up a lot of 3-1 leads and a locker room cancer, in my opinion. What do you guys think of Doc? In my opinion, I think he'd be a nightmare scenario for me. Him and Kurt Rambis, I would be extremely sad. How about Terry Stotts? He's not bad. Terry Stotts not bad. Terry Stotts not bad. He said it's really not. Dan, Doc is a choker. Facts. Rajon Rondo, hey, he does have a future in coaching. He's gonna have to put in his work as an assistant first, in my opinion, before he gets a consideration. Because let's be real, Rondo can be volatile. You just never know. He might choke slam player or something, man. He got a little couple of loose screws. I love Rondo, but damn, like Rondo's something else. He either respects you or he doesn't. Dan, remember the news when Rob Pelinka was in the hot seat? Does this cause the reason why Phil Jackson was behind the scenes Jeannie Buss? Listen, Rob Pelinka should have one more shot at getting this team right. And this summer is a shot. So he's probably going to swing for the fences and try to get it right. But if he doesn't get this team right, do I really want him to continue? I'm not sure if that one championship was enough for me. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, Dan, most teams don't win a championship. He definitely should have a chance after the post-LeBron era. And maybe you're right. But I'm really strict when it comes to president of basketball operations. That is a job. That's a dream job. I wish I had the basketball credentials to have a job like that. When you have a job like that, you can't make too many mistakes. All right? You can't, because if you do, you can set your franchise back several years. And I think that Russell Westbrook trade was a huge mistake. Whether you want to blame it on LeBron or him, that's up to you. I think both of them take an equal slice of the pie because one pulled the trigger and one suggested it. So they both going to jail for the crime, you know? But I really want to give Frank the benefit of the doubt. And I want him to prove me right this summer and just do something creative that makes us compete without mortgaging our future. And I would be 110% behind him. Prove to me that you're free from the shackles of clutch, please. And I will be 100% behind you. But however, because of the rumors that we passed on better offers and better potential teams or teammates, future teammates, that's what pretty much has me thinking maybe he's just a puppet. And hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe he's a shadow president of basketball operations. Maybe Magic's the real one behind the scenes, but since they were getting him for tampering and all that, you know, maybe him and Jeannie have a backdoor deal where he's the one gonna start calling the shots, and then Rob Pelinka will either take the praise or the fall. Who knows? Yeah, I mean Rob. I said Frank, my bad. I always get them confused. My bad. Yeah, Rob Pelinka. He said, please don't say Frank. He said, assistant coaches are important also. Oh, yeah. They can all go, to be honest with you. Nobody suggested the proper adjustments to Frank, or Frank didn't listen, but they can. That's a package deal. If Frank Vogel gets tossed, I really hope that Fizdale doesn't take over. I will be, I don't want it. I don't want Fizdale, please. The best position is the owner. Can't get fired, but nobody's getting the dream position. That dream position. I feel you, Crystal, but I like the pressure. I feel like I do. You can make diamonds under pressure. I feel like I would really perform well in that position. But again, I'm just a diehard fan. So it is a pipe dream for me. But yes, I would love to be in the president of basketball ops position. I would not leave a single stone unturned until I build a contender. Like, that's the type of person I think I would be. At least I think, right? But who knows Once you're there, it's a different story. A lot of pressure, you know, people pulling you this way, people pulling you that way. So it's easy to talk, but you know, the walk is always a little different. He said Fizdale's a homie though. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Kevin. But I didn't like what he did in the absence of Frank. Now I would have liked to see him step up and get us some wins, but not only did he go winless, but I think he got blown out once or twice, and it was kind of embarrassing. Like, I don't want any more of that. I want somebody for real. That's just going to step up to the plate and hit a grand slam. But that's just me. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, man. We already went over the hour, man. You really lose track of time talking basketball. We could do this 24/7. I appreciate y'all very much, man. Major shout out to my sponsor, Prize Picks. 100% deposit match guarantee with promo code DtLF. If you guys want to try that out, if you guys like daily fantasy sports, it's a perfect app, man. So definitely give that a shot. And also, I will be putting out a track either early tomorrow morning or later on at night tomorrow. Stay tuned for that's my second track on iTunes. The first one did really well, so hopefully you guys keep supporting and liking. I promise some real heat is on the way. We've been in the studio, so stay tuned for that. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed evening. I will catch you guys real soon. Peace out.